My name is Allie Smith, I'm 30 years old. My husband, Tom, is a 33-year-old office worker. I experienced stage 0 breast cancer 8 years ago. And now, the breast cancer is back. Sis, you're finally getting discharged tomorrow, huh? I've had a recurrence of breast cancer and am currently hospitalized after undergoing a mastectomy of my left breast. Sis? It's really a shock to lose a breast as a woman. I was prepared, but still. The surgery was successful, but my heart is still heavy. Then, my husband, Tom, came in triumphantly. My husband, who suddenly tells me he wants a divorce while I'm hospitalized for breast cancer. I'm going to remarry because my lover is pregnant. Move back to your parents' house once you're done with the surgery. The apartment we're living in is mine. I laughed at Tom, who knew nothing, idiot. You know nothing, do you? I revealed a certain truth to him. Then, he went crazy, then my whole plan is ruined. What's going to happen now? There have been various things leading up to this. Thank you for everything today. No, thank you. How about it? Did you find any good places? I have another viewing tomorrow, but my heart is set on the last property we saw. I was working at my father's real estate agency at the time. I was assigned to handle Tom when he came looking for a place. That concludes our explanation. Please read the contract thoroughly, and if you're satisfied, sign it and stamp it. This. Saying that, Tom handed me a small note. I don't want us to stop seeing each other after today. When I got home and opened the note, it contained Tom's email address and phone number. Honestly, I could have gotten that information from the documents, but that would be a breach of privacy. I also felt sad that we wouldn't see each other again. Why can't we date? You hate me, don't you? If you tell me what's wrong, I'll try to fix it. After all, we've already been on what feels like 5 dates. I can't accept that we can't date. It's not like that. I don't dislike Tom at all. In fact, I have a good feeling about her. Then, I've decided not to marry anyone. Why? Did you commit a crime? Or if you're just looking for an excuse to reject me, I don't mind if you just turn me down clearly. It's not that. I think you wouldn't be happy if you married me. If you're going to dodge the issue with such vague words, then forget it. Tom turned his back in anger. This is fine, this is the right choice. Even so, I can't lie to my own feelings. Tom! When I called out, Tom turned around. He looked like he was hoping I would call him back. He probably wanted a proper explanation. I had breast cancer 3 years ago. There's a high chance it could come back. That's why I might not be able to look after you for the rest of my life. Having a sick person in the family is the hardest on the family members. I don't want to put you through that. Also, due to chemotherapy, my ovarian function has declined, and it's been said it would be difficult for me to have children. I think it's rare to find a woman who brings so little to a marriage. That's why I can't date you. It's because I like you. I might not be able to make Allie happy. But if I marry you, I'll be happy. I like you, no matter what. What does it matter if you're sick, or if we don't have children? My happiness is walking through life together with you. I don't wish for anything else. Let's trust in Tom's broad-mindedness and kindness. With such a strong declaration, he'll surely stay unshaken, no matter what happens. Did you go to the hospital? When he came home from work, the first thing Tom asked was that. For over a month, I've had many days when I felt unwell. Yeah, I went for a checkup. It's breast cancer. It's been 8 years since the last time, but now it's stage 2. I have to have surgery on my breast. Is that so? We've been married for 5 years, so I thought maybe it wouldn't come back, but you never know. Surgery means it can be cured, right? Then let's look on the bright side, let's be positive. I was worried about how Tom would react, but I was relieved that he took it more brightly than expected. So, you're going to be hospitalized, huh? When? I'll be hospitalized a week from now, and the stay is for 10 days. Then maybe I should make lunch for you every day. Hospital food is bland and not very tasty, right? I wouldn't know since I've never been hospitalized. Tom was good at cooking. I'm technically a stay-at-home wife, but on days when Tom comes home early, he cooks dinner. That's it. I'll make lunch for both of us and we can eat together during the hospital's dinner time. I'm gonna visit every day. Tom's cheerfulness was a saving grace. The surgery went well. When I woke up, my sister Kelly was there for me. Since our parents couldn't take time off work, she came in their place. Kelly, what about your job? I was relieved to hear my voice come out clearly. I had no memory after being anesthetized, and the surgery was already over. Anesthesia is amazing, I realized again. I'm what you'd call a freeloader, living off my parents' money at home, a royal freeloader. Kelly was trying to turn everything into a joke. I'll come every day to keep you company and kill time. Write down a list of any magazines or books you want. Nights in the hospital are long, and it's tough to pass the time. Sure, there's always a TV now, but smartphones are banned and it's boring. The anesthesia had worn off, and my head was starting to clear up. It had been a long time since Kelly and I had such a long conversation. Hey, Allie, you're looking good. Kelly came too, huh? That must be reassuring for you. Tom also stopped by after work, but he didn't bring the lunch I was secretly hoping for. He stayed for about 10 minutes, maybe. It seems like Allie is in good spirits, and you sisters have a lot to catch up on after so long. So, I'll leave you to it. What? Tom left shortly after arriving. I'm gonna go buy something to drink. What would you like, sis? Kelly quickly changed the subject. I still couldn't move much. Could you get me some tea, please? I sent Kelly off with that request, but she didn't return for nearly an hour. I started to get worried. Kelly came back, but without any drinks. Her face was slightly pale. You were gone for a while. Did you go to the cafeteria and eat something? What? What's with the scared look? Did you see a ghost or something? I just can't keep it to myself. What are you talking about? Tom is cheating. What? I went down to the first floor to buy a drink. That's when I saw Tom with a young woman, talking in front of the parking lot. When I was listening to their conversation, it sounded like they were dating. No way. Are you sure you didn't mistake someone else for him? I wish that were the case. I recorded it on impulse. Want to listen? My feelings were torn between not wanting to hear it and needing to know. Kelly didn't wait for my response and started playing the recording. When is your wife getting discharged? I was told she'd be in the hospital for 10 days. Then, let me go to your house during that time and take care of everything. I want to look after you. Huh, Sarah, you're quite domestic. You don't look the part though. Stop it. What's that supposed to mean? But, making you happy is what makes me happiest. Ever since I joined the company, I've had feelings for you. The shock when I found out she was married was unbearable. It makes me happy just to hear you say that, even though I'm 10 years older. I have a thing for older men. The moment I saw you when I first joined the company, I knew she was the one. But, it seems like I met you in the wrong order. If it had been before you met your wife, you would have chosen me, right? Of course. I've realized since dating you, Sarah, that I prefer someone healthy. Allie was always tired and bedridden even before her recurrence was discovered. A marriage without communication is just boring. I wanted to cherish our mealtime conversations, but in the end, I was cooking and eating alone. They say conversation is the best spice. What would happen if she knew I was here? Would she get jealous? I wonder. Allie is so oblivious, I doubt she suspects I have a lover at all. It doesn't matter if she finds out, actually. But, there's something that makes it necessary for her to know. Tom's mind must be racing with what Sarah's insinuating.
I'm pregnant. What?
Remember, we went to a hotel after that drinking party? Oh, when I was completely drunk. It's from that night. Can you even be sure? We've been together since then. Women just know these things. You're going to divorce your wife and marry me, right? There was a moment of silence. What answer would Tom give? Maybe the time has come. I'll divorce Allie. Above all, I'm happy that we're having a child. I'm grateful you got pregnant. At this point, I stopped her. I don't want to hear anymore. I'm sorry, you didn't want to hear this. It's not your fault, Kelly. Thanks, actually. Without this, I might never have realized. I lost all respect for Tom on the day of my surgery. Moreover, bringing his mistress to the hospital where his wife is admitted. Sis, are you really clueless about this woman Tom is with? From the conversation, it's clear she's from Tom's company. Haven't you faced any harassment until now? I have absolutely no clue. But it's only a matter of time before the woman who's pregnant demands a divorce, right? Whether she's really pregnant is another matter. It's like the ultimate weapon for a mistress who wants her lover to leave his wife. Tom, too, would say he's divorcing because of the situation with his mistress. That's a typical line from men who cheat. Maybe we should talk about it once? As I was lost for words, Kelly said, "Sis, lend me the keys to your apartment. I'm going to install a recorder there right now. The more evidence we have, the better it'll be for the divorce court." Kelly was already talking as if my divorce from Tom was a done deal. I didn't want to hurt myself anymore, but I wanted to know the truth. I wanted to hear Tom's true feelings. I handed Kelly the keys to my apartment. The next day, Tom came to visit me after work. Having heard their conversation the day before, I couldn't look him straight in the eye. "Is there anything you need? If there's anything you want me to bring, just request it." Would he go back to our home, where his mistress is, after this? How can he maintain such an unchanged smile, keeping pregnancy and divorce a secret? This is my suggestion. Why don't you stay at your parents' place for a while after you're discharged? I know Kelly has been updating me about your condition, but it would be safer, right? Imagining his mistress confidently staying in my apartment made me feel nauseous. He must be trying to distance himself from me. You look pale today. Are you feeling ill? Want something to drink? Is there anything in the fridge? Hearing these kind words, it's hard to believe he's really cheating. I knew it was camouflage not to get caught, but I still didn't want to believe it. The image of Tom, always a gentleman in front of me, was getting distorted. "Tom, aren't you inconvenienced?" I decided to probe him. "You are good at cooking but not so good at tidying up, right? Clothes left where they're taken off, things left open. Isn't our house turning into a mess? Once I'm discharged, cleaning will be the first order of business." "No, it's okay, Allie. You don't need to worry about that. I'll come again tomorrow." Tom left after less than 10 minutes that day. Then, for a week, Tom didn't come to visit me. Even though my discharge was approaching. I thought it might be time to retrieve the recorder. "Do you want to listen, sis?" I was scared, but knew it was better to face reality. The partner hints at pregnancy and divorce. I've edited it down to just the concerning conversations. Okay? "Hey, after you divorce your wife, are we going to live in this room? It's a pretty nice condo, spacious and must have been expensive. Are you still paying the mortgage? This place has been Allie's since before we got married. Wow, is your wife some rich heiress or something? Allie's dad runs a real estate business and owns several properties. This condo was a gift from her father. But no matter how nice the house is, I don't want to live in a house where you lived together. Let's sell this condo and use the money to build our love nest. We can buy stylish furniture and create a comfortable environment. Just thinking about it excites me. Moving means we'll have to ask someone for help, right? I can't lift heavy things since I'm pregnant. But are you sure? I've never checked if I can sell this place. Don't be so pessimistic. If you've been married for 5 years, it becomes joint property, right? Even if you split it with the wife, it would still sell for a lot. This prime location condo must have been worth millions. This part was about the condo Ali lives in. What comes next might be even more upsetting. What more could they possibly talk about? Moreover, this conversation took place in my home. Isn't this just encouraging Sarah, the mistress? Why do you need so much money? Can't it wait until after you sell the condo? It's not like you need to buy anything right away. You don't understand women at all, Tom. That's why you're not popular. Wouldn't you be happier if I always looked beautiful? Look. I have appointments at the beauty salon and nail salon this week, and there are clothes I want to buy. Why are you acting like you don't have money? You don't need to pay the mortgage, right? You should have more disposable income than most. Well, there are expenses. Right, you spend it on your car? I don't quite get it, but you're customizing it, right? I bought an old car and am customizing it to my liking. Tinkering with cars and bikes is my hobby. So, you're not going to buy it for me? You already have plenty of bags, don't you? This is the new collection. I hate the thought of being the only one behind. Even so, didn't I just buy you a watch last month?
To date a younger woman, you need money. Don't you understand that?
All right. Sarah, you really know how to ask for things. I'll stop here. You probably don't want to hear any more lovey-dovey stuff. I had never heard Tom sound so smitten. Is this the real Tom? Next, there's a recording of Sarah talking on the phone inside the house. You'll see her true colors. She lived in a surprisingly spacious condo, Tom. Not exactly a gold mine, but selling the condo could bring in a good price. Even if I got half, that's like $1 million. What? Pregnant? That's obviously a lie. Who would willingly have a child with a man 10 years older? Just say I had a miscarriage at the right time, most men believe that. He's totally focused on me, so I'll use him as much as I can. You know, my plain office worker persona is just for show. I'm testing how many old men I can charm at the company. Of course, it's all for my boyfriend's sake. What? Spending money elsewhere? Of course, I am. At 23, worth of being office worker needs to be upgraded. I'm gathering designer goods now to elevate myself. Kelly stopped the recording there. I was speechless. Sis, it's better to act fast. First, make sure the condo is secured in a way that you don't lose out. We can't let this outrageous mistress have her way. And on this day, just before my discharge, my husband said, I'm remarrying because my mistress is pregnant. Move back to your parents' house after your surgery. Next to him stood Sarah, the mistress whose voice I had only heard. The condo we're living in is mine, he claimed.
Idiot. You know nothing, do you? The one leaving will be you.
That condo has been our joint property for the past 5 years we've lived there. I don't want all of it, just split it. What are you talking about? Are you stupid? Tom hasn't paid a cent for that condo. If you say you've been paying a loan for 5 years, maybe your claim could stand. But that condo was a gift from my father. And I lived there before we got married. It was given to me by my father. That makes it an exception to joint property. You don't even know this simple fact and just going along with what that woman says.
Then what am I supposed to do now?
Tom panicked. The condo is already being prepared for sale. Tom has no right to live there. If he enters without permission, he'll be arrested for trespassing. Thinking everything will go your way is a huge mistake. So, you knew about me and Sarah?
I doubt the nerve of a man who can live normally with his mistress in the house while his wife is hospitalized for breast cancer. Wait, Tom, that's not what we agreed on.
Sarah didn't expect things to turn out this way. Still so naive.
If the condo can't be sold, how will you get the money? There's a child on the way. No house, no money, that's fraud. Your pregnancy is a lie, right? The ultimate weapon to catch a man? It didn't have to be Tom. If you're going to trick someone, at least choose someone high up in the company. What's the point in deceiving Tom? If you're going to do sugar dating, aim higher.
I fought back just as hard. I've been fighting a disease. Grateful for ditching such petty lies and greed. It's pathetic to be a sore loser, isn't it? It must hurt to have your husband stolen by a younger woman. But isn't it just natural? Neglecting your husband because you're not feeling well leads to this outcome. You haven't been meeting his needs at night, have you? Then, isn't it understandable that he'd cheat? What benefit did he get from marrying you? Can't have children, and never know when you'll fall ill again. Should he live only for you? Of course, he'll say sweet things when you get married. Those words from Tom weren't lies at that time. But as time passes, it's impossible to stay at the same temperature. Please let him go. Sarah wasn't being defiant, rather she was speaking on Tom's behalf. It could make one mistakenly think Sarah genuinely loves Tom. So, Sarah, you're gonna stay with me, right? Even if it means starting in a small apartment with the three of us, including the baby in your belly. That's what you mean, right? Huh? What are you misunderstanding? I was just passing along what you have been complaining about to your wife. After all, you're worthless to me now. Might as well spill everything and clear the air. What about the money, then? Tom, even at this point, without any concern for his wife's health, brought up money. He must be really desperate for money. I don't care about that. It was Tom's goodwill, wasn't it? That's because you said we'd get half from selling the condo, anticipating a lot of money coming in. We even had a real estate agent confirm it could sell for $2 million. So I believed that. I was shocked to hear how far the conversation had gone. They wanted to sell the condo at any cost to cash in. Don't expect any sense from a 23-year-old woman. Everything I said was a shot in the dark.
Please! Allie, can you lend me the money from selling the condo?
Suddenly, I became the target. Tom looked as if he was about to kneel, completely cornered. After doing something this terrible, you have the nerve to ask now. When I was down with a recurrence of breast cancer, you were off making a mistress. I'll be filing for alimony, you know. Good for you, Sarah is pregnant. You wanted kids, right? Well, it's a fantasy pregnancy anyway. But, looking at things now, it seems you and Sarah are done for, aren't you okay? After all, Sarah has a younger, more handsome boyfriend. Tom's complexion changed. Sarah, really? His voice became sugary when addressing Sarah, which was frankly creepy. As if he believed he was getting younger. Who knows, but that's not your concern, is it? Then, at least pay me back the money, that's all I ask. Who knows what will happen? Sarah, you have all these expensive brands, but did you really need to go into debt to buy them? Did you know I was made a guarantor for your debts? I was astounded by his foolishness. Didn't he understand that under no circumstances should one become a guarantor for debts? Was he that blinded by Sarah? Anyway, I'm moving out of the condo today. Tom, you better start looking for a new place soon. We were going to live together, weren't we? Have I not been clear? I find no attraction in a penniless Tom. Sarah left the hospital room after saying that. Where did her confident face from when she arrived at the hospital go? Tom was left in a daze. I don't know how much debt Sarah racked up, but it's clear she won't be paying it herself. That's why Tom is stunned. We're getting a divorce. And I'll be filing for alimony. People who succumb to temptation and pleasure once will do it again. I pushed Tom away without a shred of sympathy. But, I do want to thank you for marrying me. For choosing to marry a woman who might not be able to have children, who had a risk of breast cancer recurrence. I needed to say that. Your parents came to visit yesterday, didn't they? Ah, Kelly, you were out then. I had returned to my parents' home after being discharged. The condo found a buyer, and my father plans to give me another one. It's good to have a wealthy real estate agent as a father. See, Tom ends up penniless and kicked out. But that doesn't excuse what I've been through. I involved a lawyer for the alimony, and suddenly Tom's parents came. They paid the alimony in full on behalf of Tom. They just kept apologizing. Isn't Tom ashamed to make his parents do such a thing? It's really appalling. Thinking back on yesterday's scene, it pains my heart too. So, what happened between Tom and that mistress, Sarah? They're done for. Sarah was only after the money from selling the condo. She wouldn't glance at a penniless Tom. After all, Tom's company is full of middle-aged men. Sarah targeted the company from the start. They weren't planning to hire female employees, but Sarah forcefully attended an interview, charmed the interviewer, and got specially hired. Her ability to manipulate older men at her young age is something else. Well, in 3 or 4 years, her youth won't sell anymore. Maybe she'll marry that boyfriend of hers, what was it, Pippi? In the end, things went exactly as Sarah wanted. She squeezed everything she could out of Tom, even making him a guarantor for her debts, a total victory. Now, Tom is running from debt collectors. There have been collection calls at his work, and he's even been ambushed outside, leading him to quit his job. I heard this from Tom's parents yesterday. A year has passed since then. A year was enough time to heal the wounds of sorrow. At least for me.
Wow, sis, you look beautiful. You really look great in dresses, probably because you have that exotic look.
Kelly, maybe it's time for you to think about settling down too. I've had the luxury of having 2 weddings after all. I still want to enjoy myself for a while. But I had no idea you and that nurse were together. When did that start? He took care of me during my hospital stay and even after I started outpatient visits, always encouraging me with positive words. Being a nurse, he must have faced the end of life before. Yet he said he didn't want to lose me. Why did you keep it a secret? Romance between a nurse and a patient is considered taboo. So we really kept our love quiet.
I see. But I'm glad you've recovered. After such a breakup, it's great that you met someone even better. And you're pregnant too. Yes. I never thought I could get pregnant. I had resigned myself to the idea it wouldn't happen for me, so the joy was even greater. My new husband has brought so much happiness. With renewed spirits, I took my first step down the aisle.